Hello everyone, this is Cinzia Firazzi. Welcome to this channel, and today we're going to talk about forgiveness. This is the third additional key to the 40 Keys to Prosperity program. So originally we had 40 keys, and now we are adding 5 because we realized there was some important key missing. And forgiveness is of extreme importance. Forgiveness was instituted by God for people who do not deserve. Most people say, "Oh, I'm not going to forgive this person because they don't deserve it." But if they were deserving of anything, they wouldn't need to be forgiven. So, forgiven is for undeserving people. You need to understand what forgiveness is for. Then you would be more equipped to want to do it, to want to release it. It is not something that you feel like you want to do it naturally. It is not a feeling. But after you forgive, after you release this forgiveness, you feel peace, you feel joy, you feel, all those feelings that make you prosper. Those are feelings. But forgiveness in itself is an attitude, so it is not a feeling. There are different types of forgiveness. The first one is the forgiveness from God, is the forgiveness you receive from God. Then there is the forgiveness of the self, basically you forgiving yourself, and then you forgiving others, and then others forgiving you. Now, what's the big deal? The big deal is in the scriptures, in Matthew, I think it's Matthew 4:14 and 15. It says, if you forgive, you will be forgiven. And so there is a condition there. Just double checking if it is Matthew. I think it's Matthew 6:14. Yeah, Matthew 6:14 and 15. So the condition is you must forgive before you will be forgiven. So the lack of forgiveness is basically revenge. You want to revenge yourself against people. In reality, you want to hit them with a ball of fire. But this ball of fire is first burning your hand, so you are harming yourself. It is like a cup of poison that you drink while looking at the other person. And you drink this cup of poison, and they keep living their lives. Not forgiving is like letting a rhino live in your home. It is like this rhino is going to destroy everything in your home, and it's going to smell bad, and it's going to hurt you. But when you forgive, you release energy. It is really it is more expensive to live with unforgiveness than to release it. Another important thing here is to try to be in a place where you don't have to forgive ever again. So how do you do that? Don't give space for that to happen. When you stop having expectations from people, you say they gave their best, they did best they could, and this is something that if you look at the life of Jesus, when he died on the cross, he received so much evil, yet he looked at the Father and he said, Father, forgive them because they don't know what they're doing. If you think about it, Jesus, he was the one who had to forgive them, but in a sense he said, I've been called, it's not on me, I pass it to you, Father, you forgive them because they don't know what they're doing. And this is the same thing for you. If you live your life following your purpose and following the calling that you have, then really all you do is say, God, this is your problem, deal with it now. So you pass it on. So disconnect from expectation. Sometimes you create this expectation by saying that you would do something, and then they expect you to do it. But most of the time people create these expectations by themselves with their thoughts, their wishes. They wish you to do something. You need to disconnect from that, and the only person really you need to please on this planet is God, not people. There are four types of things you get if you don't forgive and if you don't wash your heart. To wash your heart, you say, I forgive. It may hurt for that moment, but then you get free from these four things: anger, resentment, hatred, and bitterness. So you must sanitize your heart. Sometimes you might say, oh, but I can't forgive that friend whom I lent my money and he lost it all. But in reality, you had to forgive yourself for being so naive and lend your money to a friend. And just don't lend money to friends, because then you lose the money and the friend. So when you feel sorry for people, when you carry them, when you have this heaviness of the broken relationship, you must get in touch with them and ask forgiveness, even if you sense you were on the right side. Whether you are right or not, ask forgiveness. If they are upset with you, ask forgiveness. So if you give excuses, you say it is not my fault, but in reality, taking personal responsibility, it is always your fault. So ask for forgiveness. If you think you are the more mature person into this relationship, then it is really on you. You must resolve this rapidly. Don't wait. Get in touch with people and ask for forgiveness. And you just let go. True friendship must pass through crisis. If it doesn't pass through crisis, it's better if you let go. And if the friendship stands the crisis, then you know that it was a true friendship. So this is the forgiveness that you receive from God, you do unto others. But there is one forgiveness that the self-forgiveness, forgiving yourself. Sometimes it's very hard to do, but you must stop charging yourself. And after you hear this one, you will never think of this again. You will think of this in much simpler terms. When you forgive yourself, it's like, imagine you have a debt with someone, you owe something to someone, and someone comes to you and say, even though it's a huge amount of money or whatever, it's a big debt, I release you, you're free, I will not charge you anymore for this one. Imagine the feeling you would feel if someone did that for you. Now know this, that self-forgiving is the situation where you are both the person that owe and the person that is owed. Stop doing this. Just tell yourself, I did the best I could in that situation, and just release yourself from this captivity. Next time you do better. If a person irritates you, you are basically enslaved by them. So just forgive and move on. And ask for forgiveness. If people don't forgive you, but you have forgiven yourself, you have asked for forgiveness, then you have no other obligation. You are discharged, basically. It is their problem then, if they don't forgive. So this is a powerful thing to do, and you really must do it for yourself to release this energy. If you don't forgive, if there's unforgiveness in your life, you waste so much energy with resentment, with bitterness, with hatred, and you don't want to be in that place. So I hope you find this key valuable. It is indeed valuable, and as usual, there are tasks for you to put into practice. and I hope you do them and really take advantage of this. The first one is, when you don't forgive, as we said, you carry the person who offended you on your back. So write down all the people you've been carrying, sometimes for years, really. Number two, Jesus said that when we forgive, God releases forgiveness to us. So make a point to go through this list that you make and say out loud, I forgive you, and I forgive you, and go through all the names of this list and say this aloud, and release forgiveness. Number three, now that you have released forgiveness, if possible, make a call, make an appointment, or send a message to those people who have been forgiven. And this might be hard to do, but it is really important. And number four, one of the steps that help you not need to forgive ever again is not having expectations on people. Think about those you have high expectation for and just cancel this. Remove all these expectations that you have from people. And then the last task, make a video or share on social media what you have learned with this key, and pass it on. Yeah, I hope you've enjoyed it, and I'll see you tomorrow with the fourth key, for the fourth bonus key. Bye.